So it's 6 a.m. and you're working the early shift at a donut shop. And then a guy walks in with a gun. But what he didn't know was the person behind the counter wasn't just baking. He was carrying.
Welcome back, everyone. For customers and employees working at a donut shop in Southeast Houston, it was quite an unusual morning.
Yeah, in an instant, police say a man tried to rob the donut shop this morning, and then the employee shot him.
You know, as someone who loves donuts, if there's one place that should be off limits when it comes to crime, it's the damn donut shop. But apparently, criminals don't care about boundaries or your breakfast.
They say they got here and they found the body of a man lying just behind the counter. They say that man had been shot, and that man, they're told, they say did have a gun, and also the cash register out here was open.
So we've got a dead guy with a gun and an open register, and people still need a grand jury to figure out if it was self-defense.
Now, according to witnesses, that employee was able to shoot the man. They believe, according to police, that all of this was done in self-defense to try to protect that man and others in this area.
You see, he wasn't just protecting the cash, he was protecting everyone in that shop. And again, This is the reasons why we carry, because we understand that cops can't be there when you need them to be there. Not because they don't want to be, but because they literally can't be. And if they happen to be, it's purely luck. But in the meantime, we're going to fill that gap when it comes to luck with our ability to carry a firearm to protect ourselves.
There are cameras both inside and outside of this donut shop, so we are told that police are reviewing that evidence and, again, speaking to witnesses, trying to find out exactly what happened out here.
If you ask me, what happened is simple. A man tried to rob a donut shop and found out the hard way that not everybody is going to just roll over because you come in waving a handgun. A lot of criminals think that they somehow stopped making guns when they made the gun that they had. You know, all jokes aside, I think it's safe to say that if you work at any type of job where you deal with cash, you should probably be armed. And if you are the owner of a business where people are responsible for maintaining cash, you should allow your employees to carry. Because the crash outs, they're crashing out everywhere. Toy stores, donut shops, gas stations, Chick-fil-A, Chuck E. Cheese's, for crying out loud. I can already hear people saying, well, they just want the money. Cool. But what happens when they decide they want more than money? I saw a video recently of a clerk who gave the robber everything. He did everything the robber told him to do. He even purposely got down on his knees, crouched down, said, take whatever you want. And this still shot him. You can't comply your way to safety. Sometimes compliance gets you killed. Now, I'm not saying quick draw McGraw on somebody with a drop on you already. If they already got a gun on you, they already got a gun on you. That's just stupid. But you better be looking for a moment, because once you get the opportunity, you've got to be ready. And here's the part that nobody talks about. It's not just grown men doing this anymore. These are kids, teenagers, armed and crashing out on a regular basis. The cops in this very story said that teens have been robbing multiple donut shops in that area. And I call them crash outs for a reason. They're like baby rattlesnakes, more dangerous because they don't know how to control their venom. They'll pull the trigger just to see what happens. And you have to confront the idea that one day you might have to defend yourself against a kid, because that kid might not think twice about ending your life. And while we're on that, can someone explain to me how these kids are getting all these guns if we have all these gun control laws that are supposed to stop kids from getting guns? Because I keep hearing about more laws, more background checks, more bans, but if teens are out here getting guns like Happy Meals, what makes you think your new law is gonna stop anybody else? These laws are stopping criminals. They're disarming people who follow the laws. We don't need more laws, we need more empowerment. But the idea of empowering law-abiding citizens scare people more than criminals do, which is crazy to me. And that people is the real problem. Even though this was likely a justified shooting, This guy still has to go through the legal system.
A grand jury is now reviewing evidence and interviewing witnesses, trying to find out exactly what happened here and trying to find out whether the shooter in this case is going to be charged.
The case is being reviewed by the grand jury. So even when you do everything right, even when you save lives, you could still be on the hook legally. That's why I work with USCCA, who sponsored today's video. They don't just give you legal protection after a self-defense shooting. They help prepare you before it ever happens. Training, education, mindset, what to say, what not to say, and how to navigate everything that comes after. Because when you pull that trigger to save your life, that just might be the beginning of your fight. Now look, USCCA isn't the only option out there. There are other programs out there. And if you don't want to go with USCCA, by all means, go with them, because having something is always better than nothing. But if you want to learn more, I'm going to drop a link in the description section of this video so that you can check out. And also, if you're wondering about the hat that I'm wearing right now, yes, it is available on my store at shop.mrcolionnoir.com. As you can see here, this is our new Defend America design, and we have them in hats, we have them in shirts, we have them in drinkware, you name it. We got them in tanks, whatever you want. You can get this bad boy on it. So head over to the link in the description section of this video and check that out. One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you. And we're all fighting this culture war together. Now you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.